I had worked at GrantWell Manufacturing for 29 years, nearly 3 decades of spreadsheets, audits, compliance meetings, and quiet dedication. I wasn't the type to draw attention. I believed in doing the right thing, keeping records, and keeping my head down. People used to joke that I probably dreamed in Excel formulas. Maybe I did. Everything changed 3 weeks before my 30th anniversary. I was called into HR without warning. The director was there, but so was David Langston, our slick CEO. He wore a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Melody," David said, as if we were just chatting over coffee. "We're restructuring. Your position is being eliminated. Effective today." I froze. "Today?" "Yes. We appreciate your service, but this is a necessary business move." I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just nodded. But I knew. My pension was set to fully vest in 3 weeks. This wasn't restructuring. It was a clean cut just before they'd have to pay me what I earned. I had filed reports, lots of them over the years, irregularities, vendor kickbacks, mysterious gaps in our audits. I submitted them to legal, to finance, to David himself. No one replied, but I kept copies. Every single one. That night, I cried in my car. Then I drove home, opened the safe deposit box, and stared at years of files. Reports, emails, invoices, internal memos. I called a lawyer. Then I called the SEC. 2 months later, it hit the news. SEC investigating GrantWell. Manufacturing for financial fraud. David went on TV to defend the company. He called the whistleblower, me, a bitter former employee. I stayed quiet. My lawyer advised me to say nothing, but inside, I was burning. I hadn't just reported wrongdoing, I had proof. Detailed documentation, emails, even an Excel workbook I'd kept for years, tracking vendor kickbacks. I didn't want revenge. I wanted justice. Soon, the walls began to crack. A federal audit matched my files exactly. Executives began resigning. The audit firm dropped GrantWell as a client. The media speculated. Whispers of deeper fraud started swirling. Then the board of directors tried to paint me as outdated, incapable. They didn't know I had emails dating back 15 years, some from board members themselves. I had backed up everything to a USB and kept it in a fireproof safe. A week later, my lawyer received a manila envelope, a settlement offer, money, a gag order. They wanted to buy my silence. I laughed. "They think this is about money?" I asked. "My lawyer." He smiled. We shredded the offer. The investigation deepened. Turns out David wasn't the origin of the fraud. It started years ago under the previous CEO. It was systemic, rooted into the company's bones. Then a surprise. A former executive, now scared for his own skin, flipped. He handed over folders of documents that matched my reports and added new information. Fraud involving offshore vendors, internal bribes. Langston was fired. The CFO resigned. 3 board members quietly stepped down. The company's stock dropped so low it triggered automatic delisting warnings. The headlines changed tone. Whistleblower may have saved industry from ripple effect. Then came the unexpected call. The interim CEO wanted to meet. We sat across from each other at a quiet cafe. He slid a folder to me. "Your pension, fully reinstated, lifetime benefits. And we'd like you to lead our new ethics division." I sipped my tea slowly. "I appreciate the offer, but no." He looked stunned. "You don't want your job back?" I didn't fight to go backward. I fought to make things right. With the whistleblower award and my reinstated pension, I finally exhaled. For the first time in years, I could sleep without tension in my shoulders. I created a scholarship in my late husband's name for students in finance and law with an interest in ethics. He'd always told me, "You're tougher than you look, Mel." I started consulting for the SEC and nonprofits that protect whistleblowers. I never wanted fame, but my story made rounds. I got letters from other compliance officers. One wrote, "Because of you, I came forward." The media stopped calling me bitter. They called me brave. A warrior in flats and cardigans. I laughed when I read that one. Months later, I sat in the front row of a courtroom. David Langston pled guilty to securities fraud. He looked around the room, avoiding my gaze. I felt no joy, no anger, just peace. My daughter was waiting for me outside the courtroom. She hugged me tight. "You did the right thing, Mom." I had to. We walked into the sunlight together. I didn't look back. 4 months later, I received a handwritten letter from a young compliance analyst. It read, "I was scared. Then I read about you. I reported fraud today. Thank you." I placed that letter beside the scholarship certificate on my desk. Then I made tea, sat on my porch, and listened to the quiet. This fight cost me comfort, privacy, and years of peace. But I'd do it all over again, because some truths are worth the noise. Because doing the right thing isn't loud, it's steady. Because integrity isn't just a word on a corporate wall, it's what I lived by. And now, it's what I leave behind. Melody Reynolds.